So, very warm here in Orange County at this time. So for breakfast, I am having toast with ice cream. Not just any ice cream, cherry vanilla ice cream. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna try this. Yeah. No bit difficulty. Cut through. Maybe I should have done this toast as French toast. Yep. But regular toast, yeah, still fine. Yep. Gooey. Yep. Bread is a brown bread with nuts and seeds inside, so it's very crunchy. The ice cream's got like bits of cherry. Very gooey. Delicious. Yep. Hi folks, it's me Hannah. Hey. Okay, so don't I look like that villain chick with the 3 raptors in Jurassic World Chaos Theory on Netflix? I'm guessing it's the lack of my eyebrows at this time. Yeah. Why am I missing my eyebrows? That is an excellent question. Yep. But there's an easy answer to it. Easy answer is, I want to talk about my eyebrows in this video. It relates to my transitioning journey. Yeah.
Okay, but first things first. I should put on my sexy dangling earrings so that you wouldn't get all freaked out over my not having eyebrows at this time. How's that for a magic trick? So, Hannah's sexy lipstick as well. Implementing Hannah's sexy lipstick in 3, 2, 1. How's that for a magic trick as well?
Why am I missing my eyebrows at this time? Well, I purposely did not draw my eyebrows this morning to show you that I am trying to grow back my natural eyebrows at this time. See, the eyebrows, they're getting darker. Yep. So you're probably wondering, like, okay, if she's got natural eyebrows, then why was she drawing eyebrows, right? And why is she trying to grow back her natural eyebrows? Questions. Good questions. Yep. And hopefully this story might be able to answer your question and all questions. Yep.
I should put on my glasses. Yep. There. The Hannah that you're familiar with. Yeah.
Okay, so the story. in 2018, at my previous apartment, I came out the second time. So this picture was in 2018, shortly after I had come out of the closet the second time, and I was openly trans. My first time coming out was back in 2015. Henry went back into the closet in 2015. Then he moved to the next apartment, and next thing he knew, Henry was out of the closet, like completely out of the closet, and he was wearing womanly attire in public. That coming out experience in 2018, there's enough detail there that I could talk about that in a separate video. I think you might be curious to watch that video. But in this video, it's about my eyebrows. So, there. In 2018, when he was out of the closet, finally, he was out of the closet, yes, but then he was like, now what, right? When he was looking at himself in the mirror, he was still looking very masculine. So he got hair removal done. Once that was out of the way, his HRT wasn't until months later in February of 2019. So Henry was still wired as a guy, physiologically guy, right, at the time. So he was like, okay, how to get himself to look more womanly. And he was looking at his facial features, and then he was like, the eyebrows. He was feeling the eyebrows were too far underneath, under the big protruding brow ridge that was there at the time. This picture was from 2017 November. Here the brow ridge kind of apparent, and yeah, Henry was still a guy back then, very much a guy wearing, guy physique. HRT wasn't starting until a little over a year in February of 2019. Another picture from November of 2017. I liked ice cream, when I was Henry. Yep. A picture from December of 2017. There Henry was looking at his forehead, and apparently he has photographed a selfie of himself, emphasizing the forehead. Brow ridges, generally speaking, I'm sure many of you may be well aware that it's not just skull and skin. It's skull and they're like a bunch of layers and then skin, right? So, but at the time when Henry was feeling the skull, his skull in the brow ridge area and in the forehead area, he was actually like the muscles were so hard and tight that they were feeling like the skull bone itself. So, and in fact, Henry was feeling vertical craters, like a few vertical craters in his forehead area. And so, at first he thought they were muscles, but then since the muscles were so hard and they were feeling like bone, Henry thought it was like the way his skull was. So yeah, but now those craters are no longer there. The brow ridge is nowhere nearly as protruded as before. Yep, so with the brow ridge protrusion at the time, the significant protrusion, Henry's eyebrows were being pushed underneath. So the skin was the same, and because the skin was the same, when the brow ridge was pushing out into the skin, the eyebrows were kind of being pushed underneath, that kind of thing. Right. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but that's the best way I can explain it at the time. Okay, finally HRT. My selfie from 2019 February. I had just returned home from my amazing hormone specialist. I just got my first estrogen pellets implanted under my skin. Eyebrows in the shadows, somewhere beneath the giant brow ridge at the time. To rectify the situation, Henry tried plucking the eyebrows to get them to look thinner, but then they ended up being thin, but then with a thick brow ridge sitting on top of them. So this picture, a few days after my first HRT dosage, in February of 2019, I was wearing a wig at the time. I was trying to get my eyebrows to not be so like pushed in underneath, and my brow ridge to not be so apparent and stuff. And so I tried different like positions, poses, and there was a certain angle where the eyebrows, I could see the eyebrows and they were lifted a little bit higher. So by tilting the head up like this, the eyebrows were a little higher, and that was like that positioning was helping the brow ridge appear less pronounced and the eyebrows a little bit higher. So I noticed that, and I was like, wow, I got myself looking like closer than ever to looking like a woman at the time, and I snapped a little selfie picture of me. But then I didn't realize until a few months later that I had just gotten myself into a habit.
Luckily, a short-lived habit.
Where I was looking at things like this, and whenever I was taking selfies, I was taking like this to get the brow ridge to appear less pronounced. Yep.
So in some of my earlier YouTube videos, you may have noticed that I was recording like this. Yeah, that's a huge part of the reason behind that. Yep.
And about 5 days later from the previous picture, I went nuts apparently. I was in my natural eyebrows. Had some eyeshadow there. My appearance that day wasn't looking womanly at all. I was looking like a guy in makeup, and yeah, the eyebrows, I had tried to pluck the bottom kind of bottom strands of the eyebrows. That way the eyebrows weren't like thick like before, and also to help them to look a little bit higher, a little bit more distance between the eyelids and their bottom edges. Yep. Henry was like, okay, that's not working out well. It's kind of like sexy thin eyebrows, just underneath a big thick brow ridge. So in May of 2019, Henry got rid of the eyebrows, and Henry tried drawing the eyebrows using makeup pencil. Yep. So that worked out pretty well, at least looking from the front, because from the front, the drawn eyebrows were helping conceal the brow ridge, because now the brow ridge was behind the eyebrows. Yep, but from the sides, well, the brow ridge was still very much there, and it was looking kind of strange. Yeah. This picture in 2019 August, this is a fascinating picture because my ridge bone was still very much protruded, and because I was drawing my eyebrows on my ridge bone, in one angle they may look like this, but then in another angle, like the pose I was doing, that pose, like that, the eyebrows were looking like a rocket about to launch into space.
I was like, Ugh.
And then at that point, I was also feeling kind of tired about my pencil-drawn eyebrows smudging so easily. So I was thinking about women with practically non-existent eyebrows, and I was like, okay, what if I did that? What if I just plucked the eyebrows and not draw the eyebrows? So I did that. Yep. Picture of me without eyebrows and without hair either. This was from 2019 September. The fascinating thing about this picture is, you see the hairline, right? The forehead hairline plays a major role in causing the appearance of a face to look either womanly or manly. And without the presence of hair, or without showing hair and being completely bald, kind of removes that gender biasing, right? In terms of appearance. And then without eyebrows, that further removes that gender biasing thing. So that picture is quite fascinating. The brow ridge was still there at the time, still quite protruded, but the lighting was in such a way. That picture, I photographed that picture in a hotel room that I was staying at the time, and in that hotel room, the bathroom's vanity mirror was, the lighting on that mirror was like from the two sides, and from the top side and from the bottom side. So it was fantastic lighting to photograph selfies. So that's what I did. I took advantage of the opportunity and photographed this selfie of me. Yeah. A little over a year later from the previous picture, my facial features had transitioned into the womanly range, but I still wasn't wearing eyebrows at the time. Yeah, that morning the sunlight was entering the window in a certain angle and it was appearing a certain way. So I snapped this little selfie of me. I'm going to show you a version of this selfie in a little bit. An edited version of the selfie. Yep. March of 2021 and March of 2021. Yep. May of 2021, I was realizing that my posing my selfies like this was looking a bit silly. So I was actively trying to rectify that habit. And that day, I was kind of posing like in the other extreme, like on purpose. And I was like, oh, this is actually looking kind of cute. So I photographed that selfie. And then when I was looking at the selfie on the computer, I was like, okay, maybe I had tilted the head down a little bit too much. So I was trying to rotate the selfie. And then, of course, when I got the face to look upright, the hair was looking like I had photographed the selfie on a low gravity place, such as the moon, because the hair was looking like it was just floating without gravity. So yeah, but I think it's a pretty picture. March of 2022. A selfie in my bedroom. The future is female. October of 2022. Do you notice something different? Eyebrows. Yep. That's because a few weeks prior, I was looking at selfies, and I was looking at this particular selfie, and I was like, what if this selfie had eyebrows? And so I scribbled in a pair of eyebrows on my computer on the selfie, and I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. So I started wearing eyebrows again, and thus this picture with my wearing eyebrows. Yep. I was using eyebrow pencil at the time. Yeah. March of 2023, the day I received my new passport with Hannah as my name. Yeah. But over the years of receiving HRT, HRT has significantly helped in reducing the thickness of the brow ridge. So over the years, since 2018, now it's 2024, my natural eyebrows, as the brow ridge got like lower and lower, like less and less protruded, the skin was getting lifted higher and higher in that area, and the natural eyebrows higher and higher. So about a few weeks ago, like a couple of months ago, one morning while putting on my makeup, I suddenly noticed that, hey, I am actually like painting my eyebrows directly on top of where my natural eyebrows are now. So then I was like, oh, I can actually grow back my eyebrows and not have to worry about drawing eyebrows. So that leads us to the next part of the video, the approach that I'm taking right now to grow back my natural eyebrows. Yeah. Okay, so the approach. There are a couple of ways I could think about doing that. The first way is a simple way just simply not draw and or paint eyebrows for maybe a month, 2 months, maybe a year, maybe 2 years, and yeah, until the natural eyebrows reach proper density. But 2 years, that's quite a long time to go without like proper, looking eyebrows. So the second way is a smooth transitioning way. The way I like to do things, at least at this time. So in Hannah's smooth transitioning way of transitioning into my natural eyebrows is to kind of pluck the eyebrows to help shape the eyebrows, and the parts where I want the actual natural eyebrows to grow back, to just shift that area instead of plucking. So the eyebrows, the shape's kind of like cultivated kind of thing.
Like a bonsai plant.
And once there's enough density, then I could just like not paint maybe for like a week or so. And by the end of the week, I'd have grown back my own natural sexy eyebrows. Right? And a week or a couple of weeks, that's much better, much more like bearable transition period than a year or a couple of years, right? So that's the approach that I'm taking right now. So this morning, I was like, okay, yeah, I didn't need to pluck the eyebrows this morning. So before painting on my like painted eyebrows, today I figured I'd record this video really quick to talk about it a little bit. So yep.
Now I think I should paint my eyebrows. Yeah, and show you how I look like with my painted eyebrows, comparing to how I'm looking like without my painted eyebrows. And yeah. Okay, so time for me to put on my painted sexy eyebrows. Ready? Much better? Much better. Yeah.
Laters.